and Joe Simons.
Not what the hell in the terms of that was bad playing, but like we were so close, just couldn't get it done. Welcome into episode 35 of the Rip City Wrap-Up, sponsored by good people at Dick Hanna Subaru. Tyree Smith, Danny Marang, Joe Simons along with you guys. The boys are back in town.
Hey.
But not the actual boys. The boys are on the road, and they were on the road, and they did not get the win in Detroit. 118-115, they fall to Detroit Pistons, led by Anthony Simons with 36 points. First of all, I'm happy to be back with you guys.
It's good to have you back.
It's good to see you, Tyree.
Thank you.
Nice little break, you know.
And, I saw a lot of the shows. I know he was gonna come to my house. He was banging at the door, but I didn't let him in.
Smart. Always a good move.
But Anthony was banging at the door, almost on the bridge of 40 points tonight, but
It wasn't open.
just couldn't get it done. Overall thoughts?
I think everyone's pretty happy if you're following the balance of the Blazers season.
Should be,
This
right?
is probably the outcome that you want, not me. I want to win. I don't care.
You're a fan.
I get it. In the day-to-day, I want to win. I understand that the big old tank is what we want, but I want the victory, and I was disappointed at the outcome. We said that if Chauncey wants to win 1 out of 82 basketball games this season, this is the one that he wants to win. And Ant, certainly, I feel so bad for him that he had that good of a game, and to have it end on, I'll say, a bit of a fluke play where he's trying to get to his spot and he's about probably one dribble away from getting to it and launching the shot that would tie the game and send it to overtime. It wasn't to be. Detroit gets the win. A little bit of a bummer. I'm bummed.
Yeah, I think this is, if you're talking about on the whole, the kind of game that, like you said, hits on both sides. You need to go 0-82 versus you need to win as many games as you can. The thing that I've shared with you guys off air is if the game is within 5 and 5 minutes to go, let the chips fall where they may. And especially if not even the young guys, if basically anyone not named Jeremy Grant is leading the charge, because he's like, Ant's 25 years old. This whole idea of like he's this, that, it's like, guys, he's still plenty young. Like, if he's a part of this, I think it's one of those things where it allows Shaedon to really show out. I think it allows Toumani Camara to play out. I think it allows Denny Avdia.
For a while, for a half.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying, in general,
I understand.
Turns it tonight.
Ant being on the floor is this thing that allows other guys to do well. And that wasn't the case to start the season because Ant couldn't hit anything. For the last, 10 games? Ant's been on an absolute tear.
Looks like Ant's again.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're seeing not just the shooting, but the floor game. His ability to get other guys involved. And it's not been this your turn, my turn with Shaedon and Denny. It's been really, I think, Denny and Shaedon in the first quarter. And really trying to get established in the game. And Ant trying to do what Dame did for so long, which was sit back and defer and get other guys going first. And then the second half is like, all right, it's time for me to kick it into gear after now you're worried about all these other guys.
I'll get mine no matter what, so let me force feed a little bit to make sure the entire team is focused.
Or play
so
off
it's
the
not
ball.
just me in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, let those guys have the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is with those guys being they're better on the ball. And they're not better than Anthony on the ball, but they're better on the ball. And so if all of a sudden you start having Denny be a guy getting downhill, and I think the best position for Denny is operating as the roll man on a 4-on-3 in the middle of the floor. I don't think it's necessarily as a primary creator. It's as a secondary creator.
Really?
I do.
That's a little surprising to hear because he is so often the primary creator in those situations. We call him Turbo. It's very exciting.
No, in the open court, I think it's a different story.
Okay.
I'm talking about in the half court.
In the half court,
yes.
Okay.
And I think what you're trying to do is get him to be more comfortable as the primary creator. Because you have, tonight you only had 1 turnover, which is great, but he's had 7 turnovers, 6 turnovers, 10 turnovers. So, because I think you're getting him so many on-ball reps. This is the same thing that we saw with Anthony a couple years ago. This is now what you're trying to do with Shaedon, but the thing I think you're seeing with Shaedon more recently is his handle's still a little too loose to handle that creation burden. And I think Denny is kind of stepping up into that vacuum. I think those 3 guys, you're kind of seeing the idea of what you can get out of them and how it allows a guy like Toumani to work on back cuts, Kris Murray to work on back cuts. And I think even if though you lose this game, and it's a bummer they don't even get the last shot off, and felt like he was going to get there, and it just didn't come up to him. But
Superstar.
Within five, in the last 5 minutes, let chips fall where they may. I think that's kind of where you need to be as an organization.
You kind of said that a lot about these games too, in terms of the tank, where this team kind of needs to be, and I agree with that. I also think that Denny's just kind of being the best player on this Blazers team the last month has helped Anthony get onto his game, so he doesn't have to have the pressure all on top of him. And we want to know what you guys are thinking about that as well. Use the hashtag RCWrapUp. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the comments on Twitter, social media. It doesn't matter. Let's see you guys talking. Was one of you there to get? Also, first 5,000 fans got a bobblehead, by the way.
Look at that
A Chauncey Billups bobblehead, which is funny enough because he talked about how he has no idea where his old bobbleheads were. So I hope you guys were there and able to get a little bit of action going on and get some of those bobbleheads. But overall, this game was more so, it was a great game. It was fun to watch.
It was a really fun basketball game.
It was fun. It just was, we're in that realm now where we're so close to that trade, and it's like, all right, winning too many games could become a problem, but winning those close games are also very important. And I think that's where you kind of have to toe the line with tonight, with how you're feeling as a fan, whether you should feel either way, and it shouldn't bother you. So you, being as a fan, but also a very skilled analysis on this team, should be you're okay to feel the way you feel.
Thank you.
To feel the way
yes,
you feel.
I understand, and Danny's going to fight me on this, and all of you are going to fight me on this, and I get it. The only way to seriously rebuild an NBA team is to bottom out, get high draft picks, especially when you're a fan of a team, for a city that does not attract free agents, and that's what Portland is. Historically, free agents haven't come here. I get all of that. However, the frustrating part about this whole thing is, and why I want to win games like this, because winning is fun. NBA seasons are long, and I want these little moments to enjoy, because even if your Portland Trailblazers have one of the worst 3 records in the NBA, and the worst 3 records, all the best chance of getting a number 1 draft pick, like the number 1, Cooper Flag, that's how you capture it, right? If you have one of the worst 3 records, you have a 14% chance, worst record in the NBA. Right now, they have a 9% chance of getting the number 1 pick. So I get it. You have to bottom out. The most likely scenario for Portland to ascend again and actually be something resembling a legitimate title contender, which they haven't been for a very long time, is having one of the worst 3 records in the NBA. All that I'm saying is that by no means guarantees you that you're going to get a player that is going to change the fortunes of your franchise. So my whole thesis is that even if you tank, that is like your path to suffering through a Blazers season like this. My path to suffering through a Blazers season like this is having a victory occasionally. Like, it was fun to win in Milwaukee. It would have been fun to win tonight.
All gone good for the good land.
All that I'm saying is young Daniel and younger Tyree is that nothing is guaranteed in professional sports. Winning this game tonight would have been fun, and they didn't, and now they have slightly better odds of the franchise's fortunes changing.
I will say they play the New Orleans Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks in their next 2 games. And the Mavs are without both Kyrie and Luka Doncic.
Ouch.
I asked this question to you, and I'm gonna ask this to you as well. Okay, let's look at the situation. What do you tell your team? You're head coach Chauncey Billups, but you kind of know the future of what this team looks like, or at least where they're going. What do you tell a team that shouldn't win too much, shouldn't lose too much, just the right amount? What do you tell them tonight in Detroit then?
Well, it's like exactly we saw yesterday in the NFL with all these lame duck coaches. They're all trying to win. They don't care.
They're going to get rid of Mike McCarthy. Don't worry,
One guy got fired.
They better.
Gerard Mayo literally got fired because he didn't lose a game.
Literally right after the game.
And he cost the Patriots the number 1 draft pick. The NBA works a lot different because, again, nothing is guaranteed. And look, Chauncey wanted to win that game. They gave out his bobblehead at the arena. He's a legend in that city. He was a finals MVP for a Detroit championship team. He wants to win that game. And if you're the Portland Trailblazers, if you're Ant Simons, if you're DeAndre Ayton, you want to win every single game you can because you know you're probably not part of the long-term solution here in Portland. And the best way to bolster your stock is to win. You think Denny Avdia wants to lose basketball games? You think Donovan Clingan, a guy who's never lost in his life, enjoys being on one of the worst teams in the NBA?
He's lost more games last 4 years combined.
He's sick.
I mean, it's just a thing that he's not going to be comfortable or normal with. And for all the people clamoring for all of the young guys to play at all times. It's like, do you see what's going on in Washington right now? You're sitting here.
That's the thing, Danny. No one is seeing what's happening in Washington.
That's the thing.
Right
Is like,
You don't
and
really
you're
want
sitting
to
here
either.
saying that, like, and you're complaining about them dropping a game to the Pistons right now. That Washington team lost 16 games in a row earlier this year. Like, there needs to be a balance between playing the veterans, air quotes, and the young guys. And I think they're kind of starting to strike that balance. On a night when Donovan Clingan has it going, he gets more minutes. It's kind of, you see it rolling. When Scoot Henderson has it going, you see it get going. Kris Murray played 27 minutes tonight. He was phenomenal.
And he should have.
And it's that I know there's plenty of things to criticize Chauncey Billups about. I am not out here saying that Chauncey Billups is the best coach on the face of the planet, and you've never heard me say that. But the thing that I have said consistently is that if you show that you're getting it done that night, you get that opportunity. And that's true probably 95% of the time. Do politics play into it of contract and veteran status? Yes. That's true here as it is anywhere.
That's an important point because, and we can jump off of the incredible first 15 to 18 minutes Portland had tonight.
I mean,
They
had
looked
47 points in the first 16 minutes of the game.
They looked like one of the best teams in the league for about a 15-minute stretch. It was
If you never watched NBA, you think they would.
That's a great point. If you were an alien, Tyree, and you came down and said, "This is basketball. Who's the best team?" You're like, "Oh yeah, that guy, the Blazers."
Oh, that guy that just slammed on him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best guy in the league, Anthony Simons.
The one's doing that. But you make a really good point about the politics involved. Because, and Denny didn't have a great second half. He did an excellent first half. And he's been
Unbelievable in the first half.
sensational the last month, like you said, Tyree, really piecing it all together.
Yep.
Jeremy's been hurt. Jeremy's going to come back. Jeremy's going to start. And fans are not going to be happy about that. But he's going to because of the contract size and his status in the league. Mm-hmm. And that's the way these things work.
You don't typically lose your spot or injury, too.
No. And a guy who's been around and is as successful as Jeremy Grant has certainly won't. And he's been on the team. Denny just got here.
Exactly.
And not only that, sorry to interrupt you,
No, go ahead.
I was
Bring
saying
up the
with-
Blazer box while he's talking.
With Denny knows the deal. That's the thing, is like, Denny is not out here thinking otherwise of like what's going on. He is fundamentally aware, and he knows that the Trailblazers traded for him to go forward with the team.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. He is a guy that just gets it. That's the deal.
Yeah. And that one of the things that we were bringing up on the Blazer box, that was just a good kind of an indication of what it was saying. This was coming from Patrick. Good loss, competitive, got the L. All we asked for, a competitive team that loses a lot.
I'm just saying, you don't want the a lot part. Like, I'm actually with you in the sense of like picking up a W every now and then. Like, I talk to these guys, the players, like, they want to win.
They're
and
human people.
Like, this whole idea that you can divorce this stuff,
They're
like,
humans first.
Yeah.
it beats them down when you're like, and the same is true when you talk to teams that come from out of town. Like, a team on a brutal losing streak comes to town, you go talk to those players, those coaches, and they're like, we just want it to end. It's this whole. I mean, Anthony Simons had the article with Jason Quick the other day where like the losing is wearing on him, and it's not unique to Ant, and that's why we talked about this, off air. The whole idea of like this fan base not being ready for what tanking truly entails, because you're so used to winning. Anthony Simons is used to the same thing. His first 5 years in the league, he's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just not the lead guy, but he's in the playoffs.
But I mean, like you're playing deeper in, like you get used to the rhythms and machinations of that. Tyreek Hill with the Miami Dolphins saying, I'm opening the door because this is the first year he's never made the playoffs. Like, it's true across sports.
Don't give him that.
No,
he can't leave Miami. You're stuck, buddy.
He's under contract. He is.
You're
But
stuck.
here's the thing: is like this idea of like you can divorce those two things. It's not true. And even for the young, like Donovan Clingan, he's never known losing. You think he's enjoying going out there and getting stuffed in a locker night in and night out? No. It sucks.
Well, just think about it for any of you that have your job out there. Imagine going to your job every day and having the worst possible outcome like 75% of the time. How awful would that be? That would be like, it'd be tough to smile,
I didn't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
be excited, go through your daily routine, eat your lunch, talk to Carol. Carol always wants to talk. We got to talk to Carol and go through this whole thing and go through this process. I understand these guys get paid a lot of money, and that is always the thing that fans are going to always point to. Well, you're getting paid $7 million. so you better care, right?
Well, who's their Carol?
That's got to be the thing.
Well, who's the NBA player's Carol?
They all got a Carol.
all
Everyone's got
do,
a
right?
Carol
It happens.
in their life. But it is difficult to get smacked in the face day after day after day after day and still do it with a smile. It's tough.
It's
When you put it that way,
it
yeah.
becomes a Truman Show. Like that's all of a sudden the reality starts to kind of fall in on you, and you're just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And it's
You want to escape.
and you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like, and it doesn't matter who you are. And it was like, well, good, get them out of here. We want to be a part of this. That happens to the young guys too, and that's what the whole like. The perfect example is this Detroit Pistons team that you're playing tonight.
Yeah.
Remember the past 2 seasons.
Past 5 seasons.
Oh my God.
That's where they've been. It's not even getting the number 1 overall pick is not a guarantee, or getting the best odds, because the Pistons didn't over and over and over and over again.
Even if you do, like, I know we all know Cooper Flag is a sure thing, but none of us actually know that. Like, yes,
the only sure thing
everyone
has
who
been
scouts,
Victor. That's it.
everyone understands. Everyone's very smart. We're much better at this than we used to be. But guess what? He's still a guy who plays basketball. Like, there's no guarantee that he's going to totally change the fortune of your franchise. I hope he does. And I hope it's us.
But what else do the Blazers kind of have to hope on?
That's exactly right.
I'm like, what's the other
You're
fish
exactly right.
in that little pond that the Blazers are allowed to fish at that they can actually get and we ring in and we keep them and make them a great product?
That's exactly it, because big free agents don't want to come here. No. And so if you're not getting them through the draft where they have to come here, then it's difficult.
Not every fisherman knows how to fish. Not every fisherman knows how to season it. Take that as you may. That's
pretty good.
I thought that was
like
a pretty
that.
good
I'm
analogy.
going to be thinking about that on the drive home. Like,
think
oh,
about
wait a
it.
minute. Yes, seasoning. Yes.
Yes. Hey, listen, not every fisherman knows how to fish.
Okay.
Not every coach knows how to coach. Not every player knows how to play. It all, without saying what's saying, it all relates.
It's got to come together.
Let's hear from our good people at Dick Hanna Subaru. Joe!
Yes.
What's popping, locking, and dropping?
Well, at Dick Hanna Subaru, they're all about making the car buying experience a pleasure. Every new Subaru comes with a lifetime powertrain. Visit today and see what makes them different. Oh, grab Carol, because it's time for a deep dive into a shallow topic. That's right. It's Trend BA.
Trend BA time. To the Blazer box we go. Carol, I hope you're watching this one. I hope you've been a Blazers fan for the past 5 or 6 years, because you're going to remember this guy that we're talking about.
Oh.
Chris Haynes reporting rookie Ryan Dunn and Mason Plumlee are expected to replace Bradley Beal and old Blazer former Yusuf Nurkic in the Phoenix Suns starting lineup. That's an interesting...
Plum Dog millionaire.
That's interesting. So the money they spent on Bradley Beal for him to form that big three is basically going to go blow up, and Nurkic is probably not going to be in the NBA.
I mean, he's still got another year on his contract, I think.
Yeah.
I think his contract, his and DA's ran out at the same time. But I heard from a lot of fans in Phoenix that Yusuf Nurkic was going to solve all of their DeAndre Ayton problems, and I went,
Ugh.
look, I love
That's a
Nurk.
tough spot to be.
I love Nurk as a dude, and it's unfortunate what happened to him, because after he broke his leg, he was a different player.
Yes.
That is wholly true.
We all remember the early spring of 2019 when he was the second best Portland Trailblazer.
He was a monster.
If we had him, we win that title.
Probably not, but still.
Get closer.
We can convince ourselves, though.
You don't get swept in the Western Conference
Give me
Finals.
1.5 beers and I'll yell it from the rooftops.
But he has not been the answer to their problems.
No.
His finishing has fallen off even more than it already was. The shooting is just not even there. His turnover rate has, risen
Ballooned.
up. And I mean, you're going with Plum Dog. Like, again,
If that's the answer to your problem and you think you're a championship team, you're not a championship.
you're in a tough spot. And Bradley Beal is just unfortunately cooked by injuries. I mean, that's the similar thing you have happening here. Also, Beal's being put on the shelf because the Phoenix Suns are the number one way to put, or a place to put Bradley Beal, and he can't be broken when they send him there. Like,
They got to send him to South Beach. They have to.
well, no, he's probably not going to end up there. They're going to try to find a third team for Beal.
Oh.
The Rodman meme?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And now, could that ultimately end up being the deal? Is Beal for Butler in some version or fashion? Sure, because Miami is on the short list, is what I've heard as far as places. Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause, the only one in the NBA. Great job by his agent. tremendous
Hey,
stuff.
his agent got paid a lot of money for that.
I hope so. I mean, that's a tremendous thing to get in your deal. But yeah, it's a rough spot. You don't want to see this happen to Nurk. I mean, you don't want to see it happen to Beal either, but it's like for Nurk, you know why it happened. And it's tough because you see the Phoenix fans kind of turning on him. And Nurk as a dude is a good dude.
He's an emotional creature.
Yeah,
this is always how he was in Portland.
Yeah.
It's how he is in Phoenix. He's a sensei,
Yeah.
right? That's just how it works. And when things were going good and riding high, he feeds off that and sort of outkicks his coverage at times in terms of what kind of player he is. But it goes the other way. When it goes negative, then he plays a lot worse than what his floor should be. Either way, when it goes negative, then he plays a lot worse than what his floor should be.
His situation also wasn't the best that he was coming into. I mean, you were obviously he was coming into a situation that was already controversial in terms of who can fill it the best, work the best with KD and the boys. And now, I mean, we've seen it with Patrick Beverley and others. He's probably gonna be playing overseas soon. There's a chance that Nurkic could go back and play overseas.
I think it makes sense. I think he'd be happier. I doubt he's very happy in Phoenix, especially even before this. I don't think he was happy in Phoenix.
No, I mean, I think he wanted to have his fresh start there and to have his opportunity. Sure. And as much as people have been frustrated with DeAndre Ayton here, the level of frustration with DA is significantly less here than the frustration with Nurk there. And I don't think it's just because of the difference in expectations. If you just look at them head to head and what they could do and the things that are asked of them, DA just has been outperforming Nurk on every level. That's just the nature of that beast.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit. So no DA, but DC, Donovan Clingan tonight. Let's talk a little bit about him. 2 from 6 from the field, only 4 points tonight. He kind of looked a little discombobulated. That's the word. A word I don't know how to spell, but I can say it. What's your guys' thoughts on Donovan Clingan recently? He's looked a little off, wouldn't you say?
We got to get those hands right. We got to get those hands right.
A lot of this and the ball not being there. And I think that's been the thing that has stood out to me recently. And we've talked about this, opponents attacking his hands. It's become a thing where he's struggled catching some lobs. He did have a putback tonight, and it was like, yeah, it was nice to see him get there, be the offensive rebounder, get the putback. But it was also because he lost the ball in the first catch and then had to come back down and then go back up with it. And I think, and this is the thing that when we first started talking about Donovan in the preseason and when we started showing some things, the thing that stood out to me immediately was he's very clearly not used to playing against real size because in college basketball you just don't see what you see in the NBA.
Bunch of little men.
And he got too comfortable being very clearly the biggest guy on the floor, which, playing high school basketball in Connecticut and then playing college basketball in Connecticut.
Is that a shot at Connecticut?
Yeah.
I mean, what are they?
It's the Constitution State, baby.
Sure. Does the Constitution have 7-footers? Like,
there is nobody that size of DC in Connecticut.
I mean, he's probably.
Have you gentlemen been to Connecticut?
Have you?
Aren't you from there?
I was born in Connecticut.
Kind of proving
How
my
about
point.
that?
I
huh?
forgot you were.
Well, I mean, he's kind of proving the point here.
5'8", the perfect height for a man.
Yeah, there you go. I would be
5'6"
shocked if Donovan Clingan wasn't the tallest person in the history of Connecticut, to be honest.
I get it, man. He's the biggest 8th grader who's used to just dunking on everybody.
And that's like
Right.
because if you watch him rebound,
Yeah.
a lot of the is grabbing here instead of grabbing here.
Yeah.
It's subtle things, and it's very easy for me all of 5'10" to be like, yeah, do the thing that you're supposed to do up here, Donovan. It's like
It's not really his fault.
Well, it's rookie stuff.
Yes, no, and that's the thing is, it's craft.
It is.
It's like very few guys that big come into watch Wemby. Wemby does it too. But every now and then he also grabs it 12 feet above the rim and you're like, oh, Donovan, try doing that more. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing is like when you're that big and you've been that big for that long, you're just not used to it. Now, he would be the number 1 overall pick if he came in with these hands that are just pillow soft that caught every single thing around the rim. Like, you come in looking like Shaq, where the ball hits your hand, it sticks to it like Velcro. Yeah,
and you push 4 guys out of the way and dunk
with one hand.
Yeah.
And you never change anything about what you're doing. Like Clint Capella was a guy who came into the league with very good hands, and it was like, oh, that kind of stood out. That's interesting. Now I think he's struggled recently, the last couple of years. It's like his great hands kind of disappeared. But DeAndre Jordan does 2 things. He blocks shots at the rim and he dunks shots at the rim.
Only 2?
But, well, I mean, I should say rebounds incredibly well. But when you're talking about around the rim as far as what you ask him to do, but it's because his hands are incredible, and he high-pointed everything, and this whole idea of, like, the Lob City Clippers, DeAndre's like 6'9.5", but he has freakishly long arms, great balance, and huge hands that just gobbled up everything. And that's the thing with Donovan. It's like he has the size, he has the strength, but he's still learning how to use his body, and he needs to kind of hone in like NBA hands. It's like it's a wide receiver that like a great wide receiver that every now and then you're like, as a little case of the drops, you're like, ooh,
Little DK?
Yes, that's a great like raw skills, raw talent, size.
Why aren't you the best at this?
Yes, but it's like
Oh, he's taking a shot.
no. But I think he's right because like DK is like so far outside the norm of like what a wide receiver is. 6'5", 245 pounds.
And you watch him play some games, and you're like, oh my God, this is the best guy at this in the league. And we've seen glimpses of DC, not to that extent, but you have the crazy block game, the crazy rebound game, and it's like, okay, this guy's ceiling is pretty high. I'm not going to go so far as to say I'm concerned.
No, it's just the thing you should be noticing.
Right, but I understand teams scouting him after 20-ish games. They attack the hands. That makes sense. The thing that, again, not concerned, but has my attention with great interest is just collecting a rebound seems to be difficult right now. Like a rebound in traffic, right? Where his hands are the only hands up there, but there's other bodies around. Like that to me is the first sign. And I will say the last couple of games, he's done it in spots more than he did his first few games back in the rotation.
He's looked better the last
It's getting a little bit better
than he did the previous 2 weeks when he first came
And
back.
again, long ramp up for DC. He's a rookie. He's going to be here for a long time. We've seen great signs. So no cause for concern. Had an injury. Just noting with interest.
You're not out there like looking at him like Rudy Gobert.
No. Oh, no.
Like, oh,
You're right.
The hands around the rim, not great.
Right.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it from an athlete's perspective, and what you hope out of DC. I hope that he's not at or doesn't get to, and it's not even a freshman or a rookie wall, but it's where they're in a state in their mind where there's a certain point in the season where it's like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna do this much more in the season. So I kind of want to just finish and get through, which a lot of people can relate to college basketball. A lot of freshmen in the football world, a lot of them be like, all right, I'm not going to do too much. I just kind of got to ride this. Let me get it like 50, 60 yards, maybe a touch. You want to be as complacent and get through the season with as minimal mistakes as possible. And I don't want that to be DC. I want him to still be active in the paint. I still want him to be active and turn the grove. You're going to get a foul or whatever. Okay, that's fine. I understand you're a rookie. You got to learn that. You got to learn that. He's still in his rookie season, and he's missed significant time with the injury. And I want him to not give up in that stage.
I will say there was one thing that happened tonight. Ron Holland had a bit of a hard foul. Was that Ant or Shaden? I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember.
But he kind of did a standover thing, and Donovan shoved him out of the way. And Ron Holland, who's a tough kid, I want to give him credit. He's a maniac in the best possible sense. But he did one of these like turn and like puff out his chest, and then he turned and he had his face in Donovan's chest, and the puppy tail curled under very quickly. He was like, "Oh, whoops!" Very large man. Like it was like
when you turn and then you look up.
Yeah, even to him, that's exactly what he sees. And I did like Donovan because Donovan's he's got a little bit of instigator in him.
Ah, sure.
And like he doesn't like when guys try to do stuff like that. Like he hasn't gone at guys, but he's shown a little chip. And I thought
like that.
I thought that was nice. And Ron Holland, who again he's a rookie, but I think he's trying to be a guy that kind of plays on the edge. When he saw him turn 7'3", 290, he decided to make a business decision and kept it moving. I was like,
yeah,
that's good to see from DC.
Smart.
That's, well, I mean, it's also good to see from DC.
It is.
You want that from your big men.
But,
like the Steven Adamses of the world of like, you police the floor because you are largest man on floor among many large men. Like
to Tyree's point, I haven't seen that yet, and I agree. That is the thing that would be the cause for concern, right? If you start to see the effort wane, but we haven't seen that from DC.
I don't think he's built like that.
I don't think he is either. It doesn't seem like it's a part of his constitution. I agree with that, Danny. And the mistakes that he does make seems to be because of pressing rather than
trying to do too much,
trying to do too little. Yeah. Exactly.
I agree.
It's again the thing that we always say: woe horse versus
horse.
giddy horse.
Yep.
Like you rather pull the reins back than have to smack the and get them going. It makes a lot more sense.
Let's go to the tag board and see what you guys are talking about using the hashtag RC Wrap Up. How big of a winning run could the Blazers go? East Coast visit before the trade deadline if nothing happens.
I love the optimism, Mark. I love it, baby.
Well, when they were up 22 tonight, I said, oh, this could be a problem. And if they win this game and they have New Orleans and Dallas, okay, I might have to pivot from if they go on a four-game winning streak.
Four-game roadie win streak would be delightful
and
hilarious.
I also would go, okay, they're winning too many games now. Because that would have bumped them up to, what, 16 wins?
Yeah.
No, 15 wins because they got to 12 again at the last game. At 15 wins at this point in the season, I would have been like, that's a little dicey.
What if they catch the last two? What if they're 14 and 23 coming home?
It's still a little dicey because, and this
Really?
this is why. Okay, they do have the 5th toughest remaining schedule in the league.
Okay.
That is a thing.
Are you about to rip through 30 games?
Not through 30, but
Okay.
I'm going to rip through a chunk here.
Okay, give me a chunk.
So after tonight, they have the Pelicans and Mavs on the road.
Okay.
They'll probably be favored
I'm
against the
taking 'em.
Pelicans for sure. They're not going to be favored against the Mavs because it's the Mavs, but they
This team
come
has
home,
confidence right now.
Okay, they come home and they play the Heat without Jimmy Butler. Okay.
That's going to be interesting.
Too many fingers.
Yeah. Okay. Then they play the Clippers at home.
Okay.
Then the Rockets at home.
Okay.
Then the Bulls at home. That's a coin toss.
It's a coin toss. I'll say they
give
get.
it to 'em. Give it to 'em.
I'll say they get one of the Heat or Chicago. So we'll leave it at 4. One of the two. One of the two.
That's that
giving-
chunk
you're
of
giving
games.
Chicago a
Again,
lot.
I'm
I am.
going to give you.
They're not good.
I'm gonna give
You're
you
right,
a
Tyree.
couple
They're not
blocks in a
good.
row.
Give 'em
Yeah,
that tough.
basically between.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Basically
Give me a
between
seat.
here and the All-Star break. Okay.
I'm looking at you like, oh.
They have a 3-game road trip. It's their last road trip before the All-Star break.
Okay.
And it's at Miami with what version of them? But it's a road
This
game.
team's won 4 games on the road.
Okay. Again, at Orlando.
They're going to lose that game.
Probably,
Yep.
but they don't have Paolo or Franz.
They're so good still.
They're still they are the Knights who say
If not for Kenny Atkinson, best coaching job in the league.
yes, I mean Jamal,
Yeah,
no, doing a great
100%.
job. Then at the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, now they finish on a 7-game homestand
Before the All-Star break.
before the All-Star
Okay.
break. And they have the Thunder.
No way.
No, Bucks probably
No.
not. Magic probably
No.
not. Suns back to back.
We get one of those.
Okay, Pacers Kings. Okay,
That puts you at 20.
now
Where's that Bucks game?
huh?
Where's that Bucks game at home, right?
It's at home.
Yeah.
7.
We get the night off.
Is that January?
That's
early
the
night off
one
all
national
season.
game.
January 28th? Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh,
one
no, that's
national
a
game.
win.
Yeah.
That's a win.
That's
no,
a
no,
win.
That's a win. Remember
Okay,
last year.
but here's the thing. They come out of the All-Star break and they have something like 12 of 14, I think, to start on the road. 12 of 15
Okay.
on the road, and then they have another 6-game or 7-game homestand and then finish out on the road. But it's like they get hammered on the road to start coming out of the,
Sure.
of the
Pretty
All-Star break.
disgusting.
It's a brutal way to start the All-Star break. But
Oh my God.
I think it's fun if they win, let's say 6 or 7 of those, and people start freaking out, and because the inevitability is always going to be there
But
of
here's
what happens.
also the thing. This is a team that went 1-22 or 1-23 down the stretch. So they could
was
get to
bad.
17, 18 wins
They still
at
finished
the
with
All-Star break
2021.
and then end up at 22 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, with that,
So
You don't want- you don't want more
But
than that,
again,
though.
no, that was the projected line was 21 and a half. Now,
Right,
depending on
right.
where you got it, it was anywhere between 21 and 23 and a half. But if you're the Trailblazers and you do rattle off 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6, it does get a little dicey.
I know, but God forbid we have fun during an NBA season.
But here's the
because
thing.
our team is
Joe,
winning.
wouldn't you
I see
rather
what he
sprinkle?
means
Here's the thing.
now. I see what he
Wouldn't
means
you
now.
rather sprinkle them in? Because
Well, sure.
because
If I had to choose an ideal NBA season, yes, that's what I would
because
do.
when it goes 1-23 down the stretch,
I'm not going to look a gift
you're
win in the
gonna
mouth.
want to die.
Right.
Like that's the thing is like
But that's the inevitability either way. That's my
Yeah.
point. That's what's going to happen at the end of the season. So when we have these moments of Blazers playing really good basketball, and for a quarter and change, they looked friggin' awesome
when
tonight.
two-way guys are playing 25 minutes.
Yes.
But
yes.
that's my problem. I don't think it's in one of those inevitable things. I think this team is at that talent level to where we should worry about that.
But-
because there are some games this year that this team
When they peak.
should not have
When
won.
they like because here's the thing. And I know everybody has their reservations about Ant. when Ant gets hot, like tonight, you can be in any game.
1,000%.
Any game. And he has shown that it's not like a once-a-year thing. It's like 8 to 10 times a year that he can get like this.
If that happens too much, oops, his hip is sore.
No,
He
no,
sits down 20 games.
I know. Like, trust me, I'm 100% with you, but that's what I'm saying. Like, between now and the All-Star break.
Yes.
That's where it's like a little, I hate to be like even going through this, but
Yeah, it was kind of fun.
but I am kind of, I am straddling the fence of kind of what you believe as far as like having fun and winning games. Because selfishly, I don't want them to lose games. It's more, like you said, it's more fun when they win.
Even a game like this was fun to talk about.
Yeah, more of you care as fans if they win. Like that's the thing that we should all be into it for. And I don't want to devalue that. And I don't want to tell, like, I never want to be the person that says cheer for losses. It's not fun. It's objectively awful. I get the mindset. Like, I'm the nerd. I get it. You know what I mean? But like, it would be nice if the ethical tanking, as it were, was something that could happen.
Get a couple of wins towards that stretch. Make the stretch a little more manageable.
Get a couple wins to take away the pain. Yes. A little numb for the pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't want to see a 5-game win streak. I don't want to see a 6-game win streak out this team either.
But see, you say that now, Tyree.
No,
You say that now.
In that moment, you will.
You would love it.
In that moment, you will. We had the 13-game win streak.
Yeah.
The 13-game win streak, was that 2018 to close the season?
It feels like 1964.
It was forever, but
yeah.
Make sure to block the
it
toxic
was.
exes,
But I mean,
man, y'all are good at getting into cycles. Don't let that happen.
But it was.
Gosh.
I mean, they were a better team. It was a different time. All those kind of things. But like, in the middle of that, it's a lot of fun, man.
It's so much fun. And look, I understand that everyone wants them to lose. But when you get in a moment like this, if you're walking by a TV, like, okay, so people just are walking by that are over on K2 doing the news, and we have a monitor that's like 20 seconds ahead, and when we get too excited, everyone pops outside of our window and wants to see what's going on. The masses assemble. They know the team stinks. They don't really care. But if there's a close game and the Blazers might win, it's exciting. Yeah. It's exciting when your team wins. 29 teams lose the NBA championship every single season. The Blazers are going to be one of those teams. Why not enjoy a win? And I find it very hard to believe that anybody, if the Blazers were to put together 3 to 5 consecutive wins, would be like, oh my God, this is just, we're not going to get Cooper Flagg and we're not going to contend in 2 years. Give me a break.
So that little optimism you have, go ahead and give that to the Patriots fan. They had none yesterday when they fired Mrs. Rodman.
That is tough.
That's all of that optimism he has. Go ahead and give that to New England.
That's a tough scene.
Definitely the former. For sure, the latter, not quite as much.
Sure. Let's focus on the former then.
Let's focus on the former because I do want to focus
Makes the
on
conversation
the
longer.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Look, man. Also, I just don't like talking bad about young players. It's not a fun thing to do. Scoots looked better in moments, but tonight is not the night to do that. He looked to be.
It's a night to celebrate Kris.
He looked very rough. I thought Kris has played his best basketball of his career over the last 2 weeks.
27 minutes.
I mean, 27 minutes.
Him.
Okay, look, it's nothing crazy, but over his last 5 games, it's 4 points, it's 3 rebounds, it's an assist, and basically a combined stock. But you're seeing the comfort, particularly over the last 3 games. It's been the last 2 weeks that he's kind of found his way back in the rotation, and it's really been the last 5 games that you saw him look more comfortable, and it's been the last 3 games where you've gotten real contributions from him. Timely contributions, good. Like Chauncey Billups said at the post game, I brought this up when after they came out of training camp about Kris. His nickname is Mr. Perfect. And for everybody's like, oh, Mr. Perfect. You don't need to tell Kris Murray what to do or how to do something but once. The mistakes that he makes, whether it's missing shots or something like that, it's a skill thing. It's a confidence thing. It's not making the wrong read or making the wrong play. Like, it's just stuff happens. It's the NBA. Guys are better. Like, those kind of things. And nobody is harder on himself on that team than Kris Murray. Like, it is a real thing. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. When he has struggled with his shot, he has been in his own head. Like, the thing that I have said constantly about him is that he will be a 10-year NBA pro if he gets his confidence sorted out and gets out of his own way. Because he's 6'8". He's got good feel. He can put the ball down on the floor. He's not even like a good defender for a young or he's not an okay defender for a young player. He's just a good defender. He's not Tumani in the sense of like making all defensive teams, but he's a guy that
Like a plus defender.
Chauncey Billups trusts him.
Well, he used that word in the postgame, and it's interesting to see with Jeremy out what's happened to the rotation. We all had a lot of fun with Delano at the beginning of the season, but the trust thing is there, and there's not the ups and downs with Kris. Kris is right here. And with Delano, it's going to be, all right, 15 points, and then for a week he, doesn't make a three, turns the ball over, and the Benny Hill music plays. Yeah. So when you put Kris in there, like I said, Chauncey's trying to win this game.
It's an acceptable baseline.
It is.
Do you remember
Floor is high.
Remember Terry Stotts with Tony Snell? Of like, you trusted him because he didn't make mistakes.
That's
now,
right.
I'm not comparing Kris Murray to Tony Snell and the infamous stat line of all the zeros. Okay, I think Kris is a better player. Let's no shots at Tony Snell. Made real money. Congrats.
They have that on the record. They have that on the record. Okay.
But I think Kris, if he can get to being like a 35 to 36% three-point shooter, he can attack closeouts. He can rebound his position. He can guard 1 through 4. Like if you put him in a pick and roll, he's very switchable. He's very smart. He's a decent secondary creator off closeouts. He can pass kind of with either hand. He's just a heady, high IQ basketball player. And I'll never forget what a scout told me about Kris Murray. Kris has always been a quote unquote lesser player than his twin brother Keegan. And they said he's anywhere between like 75 and 80% of Keegan. The other thing is he's always been a year behind. So Keegan
like
came
in school?
out. No, but I mean like as far as like his play. Where
I see.
Keegan was always a year ahead of him in development.
So is it like a Brooke Robin Lopez situation?
I think so, yeah. But like even then, those two guys are very different players. Where I think Kris and Keegan are very similar players.
Oh, interesting.
So, but Kris was always a year behind. So Keegan comes out in the draft 2 years ago. Kris came out last year, and they both kind of had their year. Like you go look at Chris's numbers at Iowa, he balled out. He was one of the best players in the country.
Wait, Kris went to Iowa? Sorry.
You didn't know that?
No, of course I know that. Talk about that on the broadcast.
It's always
15
on the
times a broadcast. Yeah.
For a split second, I was like, how have you not caught
Yeah.
that? I was like,
Hold on, wait.
It's referenced.
It's subtle, I know.
But like he was a very, very, very like highly accomplished college player. But I was a little shocked when he did struggle as much as he did last year. And I hear from the coaching staff that in practice that they have the NOAA tracking system. Like all NBA teams have this stuff, and it basically tracks every player's shot, and it'll tell you how many shots they take, where they take them from, and then the deviation. It's a tracking device, so it'll tell you if a shot, the ball rotation, how many degrees off center, like where they're releasing at apex. Like it's very, very detailed data. But it shows you consistency or inconsistencies or flaws, and it can also be reinforced with feedback from like biomechanical data. If somebody's getting too tired, you can kind of see it because their shot starts to change. It's very, very intricate stuff.
Woof.
Well, here was the thing that I was told, and it remained true, is that Kris's jump shot data was the most consistent of any player on the team in the practice facility. But it was getting it to translate from the practice facility to the floor.
Well, Tiger Woods calls that Ranger Rick. You're lighted up on the range, you can't take it to the course.
But that's what I'm talking about with the mental
Exactly,
because
it's all in the head. Because if you're good on the range, you can obviously do it on the course. If you're good in the practice facility, you can do it at an NBA court. It's just up there.
Morris twins a little bit?
Huh?
Is it the Morris twins a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just it's a confidence thing. I really think that's all it is with him. The Laker game, he had 2 finishes at the rim that when I was in the office here, I just stood up and went, where did that come from? Just like Euro step, it would look like Denny. And it was like, whoa. When did you start doing that? And you could see it's kind of feeding off confidence. So again, of the silver linings in a season like this is where you want to see these things. Like, I'm not saying Kris Murray is going to be an all-star, but I'm saying he might be a guy who's a 7th or 10th man, like a guy you trust on your roster on 30 teams in the league if the jumper comes around. That's a valuable player to have in your league. If you find that out, that's a win drafting a guy at the 24th spot in the NBA draft.
clip it, save it. Make sure to use that. This episode 35 of Rip City Wrap Up. Make sure to use that when you guys go ahead and find Kris. Let's go ahead for our good people at Dick Hanna Subaru.
Oh, we love Dick Hanna Subaru, don't we?
They do. They pay the bills.
At Dick Hanna Subaru, they're all about making the car buying experience a pleasure. Every new Subaru comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Danny, that's your whole life.
Man.
Yeah, how about that?
I mean, to be fair, that's short.
He always no-sells it. Dick Hanna Subaru, they believe in nice. Visit today and see what makes them different. Are we doing Chance?
Are we doing Chance?
Are we doing Chance?
I don't know if we're doing Chance.
We're not doing Chance.
I'm not sure entirely yet.
Okay.
Let's go ahead to the... we are
my
doing
gosh.
it. Yeah! We got that footage on. Shout out to our producers
Flip.
and our great people in the
R.I.P.
back.
Flip.
Yeah.
There we go. Hipster versus the ball. 5,000 bobbleheads. Chauncey Billups bobbleheads were given to the first 5,000 fans that got to the game tonight in Detroit. And it's... I mean, come on.
God,
now.
that was Beno Udrih and Antonio McNice.
These
Look at
old
those
clips
bobbleheads.
are amazing. The old players are just like...
Oh,
it's-
my God.
Beno Udrih was the founding member and president of the Random Blazer Killer fan club. You go look at that dude's career stats against Portland. It is insane. It's not like he had like 50-point games,
Poor Brent.
but he would come off the bench and absolutely nuke this franchise. I swear to God, he shot 80% against the Blazers. It was insane.
It's so fun to look back at that, and especially the 2004 Pistons, because they are truly an outlier NBA champion.
Yes, 100%.
There is no superstar on that team. Chauncey's a Hall
Bunch
of
of
Famer.
all-stars.
Yeah.
Bunch of all-stars. I mean, him, Sheed,
Tayshaun,
Rip,
Ben.
Tayshaun, Ben. That season,
That's 2 Hall of Famers on that team.
Ben finished 6th in MVP voting, and he averaged less than 10 points a game. That's where the NBA was then. If you look at the series between them and the Lakers, I was curious to see this. A 5-game series, one team hit 100 points one time in the series. Game 3, the final was 88 Detroit. The Lakers featuring Shaq, Kobe, and most of Gary Payton and Karl Malone. 20 an entire quarter.
Okay, that championship.
That just shows
So
you,
here's the thing:
It's crazy, man.
the Celtics championship gets oversold so often.
The big three.
Yeah, it's like, okay, guys, you got one. Calm down. The team that was infinitely better is that Pistons team. They beat the Shaq and Kobe Lakers at their apex. Look at what Shaq and Kobe did that year and what the numbers Shaq put up in the playoffs and what
insane.
they were able to do to beat that Laker team.
They were expected to coast in that series because it was already the best team that then added Malone and Payton. And again, it was a much lesser version of those guys.
But they were still-
But Malone can still knock down a baseline jumper.
They were playable.
Exactly. Yeah, they're starters in that team. And for the Pistons, because if you look at like the list of NBA champions, you can go back to like almost 1980 before you start getting into like, you know, the Washington Bullets, the Sonics, even the Blazers. You have to omit them because they had Bill Walton, probably the best player in the league at that point. But to win a championship in the NBA today, you have to have at least one superstar and probably two. And for an NBA team to beat a Shaq and Kobe team, probably at the peak of their powers, is one of the most incredible underdog stories in the NBA in the last 40 years. I mean, you have a team like Toronto, but Kawhi was on this all-time run that season, so you could point to them as an example. Milwaukee is the only other superpower franchise, but they had Giannis and a couple of role players that were exploding to get them to a title. It's very rare to have a team, I won't say come out of nowhere, but to be like a legitimate dark horse. And it just doesn't happen in the NBA because you have to win 16 games to win a title.
And you go back to that Detroit team so much because of the era that it happened, and how they won, and who they won on that team with. Because it's almost like nowadays, at least from the media perspective, you're not winning an NBA championship if you don't have your quote unquote your big three or you don't got your guy, right? But if you looked on that Detroit team, I mean, the guy could have just been picked out of a hat. It didn't typically matter.
And that was the thing about that team that was special, is that you knew that in any given night, one of those guys could show up. And that was the thing, is like the baseline for them was all very high. And the part of this is that makes this interesting is that, you know, how close it came to the Pistons not screwing up the 03 draft. Because
Darko got his ring.
Carmelo was gonna.
I know.
Carmelo was gonna be a Piston.
If you have Carmelo on that team,
That's it.
I mean, they run through that decade.
Mm-hmm.
They run through that decade.
We were saved.
Like I know I've always been like
We
I'm
were
the non-Carmelo guy.
yeah, but to that group,
They run through that.
it'd be
they
them
run through
in
that
San
conference.
Antonio. It'd be unbelievable to watch those series
I mean-
year after year, and that's who Detroit lost to the next year in the finals. They got back there, weren't able to
The
repeat.
lowest rated finals in TV history.
Yeah.
No
Was it?
one wanted to watch that. It was
Yeah,
tough. It's tough.
The ratings were that bad.
Yeah.
those games were
well,
first one to 40 those
Yeah,
games. It was ugly.
it was in a time period when the smaller market stuff actually did matter.
Right.
Like if you weren't like if you didn't have an LA or a New York or a Houston or a Chicago, it just didn't.
People wouldn't tune in.
No.
But to kind of put a button on it with Chauncey, he had such an interesting career because, and they talked about this a little bit on pregame, because he was someone who had such a rough start to his career. He got traded as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, that is so uncommon. And he was able to finally land at a destination where he put it together, and then not only did it for a season, but put together a pretty amazing part of his career, good enough to get in the Hall of Fame,
the reason he
multiple
got in.
All-Star appearances, Finals MVP. Think what you want about Chauncey Billups as the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. He was an incredible basketball player, and he was fun to watch in many destinations. So,
And don't
salute
forget,
to Chauncey.
it wasn't just he got to Detroit. It's Boston.
Oh, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it's an interesting, and that's where, again, to Chauncey's credit, he has said, no matter what a player has been through, I've been through it. I've been
Right.
picked at the top
He
of the draft.
understands.
I've been disappointing. I've been given up on. I've overachieved. I've been a Hall of Famer. I've been a Finals MVP. I mean, I don't think you can find a player in NBA history with a path like his.
Well, you know what? His path might get a little dicey depending on his game on Wednesday. Let's go ahead and talk about it. The next few games coming up. I don't mean dicey as in
No,
that.
look,
There-
you guys-
there should be
No,
some.
but,
There
no.
should be some of Joe's.
I mean,
Now, look, you guys want to lose. Let's have fun losing to the worst team in the NBA.
Look,
my
you do
God.
not
Talk tickets
you
as
do
low as
not-
$2.
Oh my God, you do not want to lose this game.
No.
No.
Like the,
Do they still have 5 wins?
I think they have
Maybe 6?
7.
Oh gosh.
They're putting it together down there in New Orleans.
5 p.m. tip
Well,
on Wednesday.
they did
Love
just
the early
beat the
start.
Wizards, and CJ McCollum went for 50 points against the Wizards. So that's
Someone got to trade for him?
no
Is he stuck there?
the money.
Yeah. What's
I
he
know
making,
what
like
you're
40?
It's 35.
Yeah. Well, they got to.
6 wins.
They're gonna see
7
on
wins. They're
Wednesday.
at 7 wins.
7 wins.
7 wins.
7 and
But
20.
But here's the thing. Here's the devil's advocate. If you do lose to the Pelicans,
Right. It's like losing to Utah.
it's a good loss in the sense of the standings. It will hurt physically, spiritually, emotionally on every single level because that team is god awful. They are not good. Now,
I hope we don't.
no, that's
really hope
I'm telling
they
you right now, that is not going to be a fun show to do afterwards if they lose that game.
Oh, y'all seen intros? I'm gonna start with something wild if we end up losing that game.
Now,
I'm going to be behind this curtain if
Yeah,
we lose
if
that
you-
game
if
for
you-
your intro. It's not going to be safe up here.
if
Oh,
you get
no,
killed by
it will
CJ
not.
going for 50, then so be it. You know, the ghost of Herb Jones and Trey Murphy coming
Yeah.
out and get you, but it's tough. I mean, that team is atrociously bad.
Well, then let's
And
look at
it's
the
because of the injuries. That's the reason. Well, that and Zion and B.I.
Well, let's go through the week. All right, they face New Orleans on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
Dallas on Thursday, and then yep, and then Miami Heat roll into town on Saturday. So, what do you think the record is for the rest of the week? Right now, they're 0-1.
They're probably 2-1.
They get 2 of those.
So they are probably 2-1. And here's the crazy thing: they're going to be done playing the New Orleans Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks after these games.
I mean, it
They've played-
sounds right. It feels like we've played Dallas like 5 times in the last 2
Every
But
weeks.
it is crazy.
single
Like
game.
They're going to be done playing both those teams 4 times before the All-Star break, which is kind of again bolstered some of their wins again because the Blazers do have 2 wins against New Orleans.
Hopefully 3.
Nah, I was about to say 3. This week, Miami
Don't wanna
Heat
go with
game.
that game.
How interesting do you guys think that's going to be with the Jimmy Butler situation going on?
I just hope Danny's okay. I just really hope that you're able to go into the arena, comport yourself the way you're supposed to, and just get through that experience.
How am I supposed to comport myself, Joe?
I don't know.
That-
Not the way, whatever way you're thinking right now, a different way.
I want him to do Danny things. I want you to do Danny things. Whatever
You
it
look
is.
like an old ancient. You know what you are? If that hair was white, you look like you're wearing one of those wigs. And you're like a judge when you shake it like
Hey,
that.
look, folks were asking about the hair care routine. This is all natural, baby. This
He
is
wakes up like this.
There's no Vidal Sassoon here.
It does look. I don't know why you don't think
wanna
it
go
looks
for the
good.
braids?
It looks
No,
good.
You want to do braids, Max?
Don't let him do braids.
Let him do braids.
Don't let him do braids.
Join the braiding
It looks
club.
good on
Look,
you.
Oh, thanks, man. I think it look good on Danny.
I don't think your person is anywhere near here to be able to.
My person is all the way in Florida.
Yeah, look, I mean, if I take a trip to Miami, maybe I'll go get it done. Here's the
They gonna let you out over there?
Look, here's the unfortunate thing. It wouldn't be the first time I've done it. So
Now that I believe.
yeah, I
wouldn't?
lost,
Now that I
lost a
believe.
bet in high school. It happened.
We're gonna go ahead and find those pictures of Danny with the braids.
they
And we
don't
appreciate
exist.
you joining us. Episode 35 of the Rip City Wrap Up. We'll be back for you guys Wednesday for episode 36. Tyree Smith, Danny Marang, Joe Simons for you. We'll see you guys then. Until, have a great week, my friends.